Another record set today by the price of Bitcoin. How many of you understand it? I don't. I can't teach you about it, but today I talked with a financial advisor who believes you need to learn more about it. Ray Housetu watches the financial station for a Bitcoin price.
There it is right there. 92,600.
Another record-setting day.
I absolutely advise everybody to do your homework on it, to research this. It is something that you need to know and learn about.
Ray Housetu is a financial advisor. He was a doubter at first on Bitcoin, but he studied it, finding a paper which explained the blockchain technology Bitcoin is based on.
And I read that and I was blown away by it because I just wanted to find a reason to tell people this was garbage, and I couldn't.
Housetu can't say whether you should buy it or not. Every person's situation is different. He believes demand for Bitcoin right now is based on two things. The SEC approved it for exchange-traded products, and Donald Trump embracing digital assets.
The Bitcoin is the network itself. So the government can't control it, a bank can't control it, the central banks can't control it, and that's part of the reason that people are excited about it.
Bitcoin seemed more like a gaming token and novelty instrument when it started 15 years ago. Now, it's recognized like other investments which are centuries old.
Right up there with silver and oil and everything else.
Housetu believes Bitcoin has proven that it's here to stay.
It's like gold, only it's much more efficient than gold. You don't have to pay to store it, you don't have to pay to transport it, you don't have to pay to protect it, you don't have to cut, with gold you can't cut slivers off to pay for things. All those you can do with Bitcoin.
Now, there will only be 21 million Bitcoin mined. There are 56 million millionaires around the world. If every one of them wanted to own a full Bitcoin, they couldn't.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lindsay Watson. Thanks for watching the WKBN 27 First News YouTube channel. If you want more videos.
It almost felt like it was in the 90s. Like it had this old 90s retro look of the legacy media. And you could see that they were just kind of getting it. It's like it kind of came into focus for the guy. He was still struggling because he was somewhat angry. I was expecting to see like a cigarette in an ashtray right beside him, like in the 90s when you had meetings with people. Wherever you went, everybody smoked right there in the office. It seems like a long time ago, but it was only 1 year ago. 1 year ago, Bullish on Parade, that guy is so tech savvy. He stares at the TV waiting to see. Imagine, yeah, that's so funny. He's just sitting there going, yeah, well, hold on a second. We're going to find the price here. Like, he has no chart or anything. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Right there. 92,000. That's how tech savvy he was. He had to wait for the lamestream legacy media to run a ticker. He didn't have a chart. He didn't have a laptop. That's why it's like, is this the 90s? This was last year, right around this time, actually, whenever she hit 92K. Fascinating. It's like we're on a separate timeline with some people. That's to a certain degree. That's why the concept of time travel is a weird abstract thing because we have certain species lining up at the same time. Like if you go down the evolution highway and we came from monkeys or apes, it's like, well, they're still monkeys and apes. So somehow they didn't evolve, but we did. But maybe they're they're like chapter 1 of their evolution. And eventually those species you see will turn into humans. Maybe. I don't know. Economic hitman. Speaking of time traveling and simulations. Weird thing happened to me. Well, everything that's ever happened to me has been super weird. But this is why I believe that to a certain degree I am in a simulation. When I worked on a cruise ship back in the year 2000. Oh, my piano's not even on. Come on, guys. Hey, crew, let's get things together. I said I demand my piano be turned on in the morning. The year 2000. It's when I went on a cruise ship. And when I got to my room where I would spend the next 6 months, which was about the size of a bathroom, kind of, had 2 cots in it, and a bathroom that was like the whole thing was a shower. So when you took a shower, you're like the sink was right there. You got everything wet. Anyway, there was a cupboard, and in that cupboard had this book. I'd had 2 books, but this was one of the books. The New Confessions of an Economic Hitman. And, so I was just a kid, not interested in anything except myself. I was very, very me-centric, as most 20-year-olds are, right? And so I'm like, oh, God, what the hell is that book? But then as I got on to learning the hard lesson of a cruise ship, which is you're there to work, I wasn't pretty prepared for that, because when you get a job on a cruise ship, you think it's going to be all like cruise ship fun and games. It isn't. You're actually there to work every single day of your contract. They don't really put asterisks. You will not have a day off. And for, spoiled brat first worlder, I'm like, what's our day off? And everyone would laugh. Silly Canadian. You have no days off. But you did have these breaks in the day. So you would have 2 or 3 hours at sea where, you can't get off the boat. So what do? I open up the book and I start reading. Now, the other book was called Mr. Nice, and it was a book about the biggest hash trafficker in the world. He put hash in, he used Pink Floyd to put hash and cross the Atlantic. He put them in the speakers, all those, those speakers that say Pink Floyd on the back. Can you hear Duke? He's learning Halloween. Can you hear that? Anyway, and the reason that book was of the 2 is because he escaped to Palma de Mallorca, and that's where our home base was. So maybe that was the thing there. But anyway, the New Confessions of an Economic Hitman, John Perkins, is exactly what's going on today. The history repeats because it's just rewritten differently to throw you off the trail, right? These people won, end of story, good guys again. These people won, end of story, good guys again. These people won, good guys again, right? So it's the same old playbook, right? We see all the time. So this playbook, he basically did everything from Iran to Venezuela. So what he would do is he would go into these countries, these emerging markets, and he would offer them silver or lead. And what that means is take all this money from the IMF, International Monetary Fund, and to build infrastructure. We're going to build your infrastructure. Power grids, sewage systems, highways, everything your wildest dreams. Just sign here. And if they came up against a, more of a sovereign individual that was running one of these third world countries, they would say, no, we're good. We're good. We're going to build out at our own leisure, And then he would say, I would highly suggest you take the silver because, if you don't take the money and be fabulously rich and basically enslave your population to be indentured debt slaves for the rest of the rest of this country's existence, well, it'd be a shame if something happened to you. And half the book is him not really accepting the fact that was the back end of his job, because he would say, when he would come up against these people that didn't want to do it, these certain presidents, the next thing you know, they were dead. So the CIA or whoever, right? All the mob bosses of the real police force of the world would go in there and assassinate him. And then they'd put in another guy. And then that guy would take the silver. So when it comes to the Planned Demolition of Canada, this is just a playbook from this book itself. You put someone in there who does what looks like the exact opposite of in the best interest of the country. Not that anyone's really had the best interest of Canadians for a long time. We've been under economic hitman for probably about 10 years. if not 15. Yeah, Bruce My sounds like Belts and Roads, similar. So like the part of the infrastructure build out is that they don't own any of it, right? So they get loaned money. Their country gets blown out for the good, and then they end up having to give up their resources because they obviously can't pay it back, right? It's like one of those payday loans where it's like, yeah, we'll give you an update on we'll give you your paycheck. It's just 30%. At that point, you're Fish, it is on Rumble. You can go watch it. If you go to Rumble now, Fish, you'll be the only one. And in a heartbreaking turn of events, Fish, I have the Rumble chat up there. And it's just, there's like in a month of Rumbles, there's like one awkward silence is the one that might chat or put in a comment. So feel free to go to Rumble, Fish. It's there. And so these countries will just go broke. And then when you think of the current prime minister who's just injected in, because they can just move the 3-card Monty. It's like, we're having an election. Are we voting? Yeah. Well, who's this guy? Don't worry about it. Just vote. You don't want the big bad orange man in there, do you? You don't want Trump in there, do you? Well, he's American. Don't ask questions. I said, do you want the bad orange man in there? No. Well, then we got this guy. He's a central banker. He bankrupted UK. Great track record. But what happened? There he is. Fish is on Rumble now. My dream was to build out Rumble and get off YouTube. It's not going to happen though. Maybe in 20 years. But so what happens is that all the boomers and the government workers who have to agree based on their paycheck, and I know a lot of these people, they, as much as they don't want certain things to happen or certain politics to happen, they have to vote for their paycheck. Think about it. They're just voting for their paycheck. So it's like, democracy is ruled by the mob, essentially. What did Doug Casey say? It's two sheep and a wolf arguing over what's for dinner or something like that. And so we see Carney coming in here and just decimating, like in every step makes a mistake. Now, when I talk to my boomer friends, they're like, this is what I love, because I use it too. I use this term too. It's 4D chess. Every time you can't understand something, it's because it's 4D chess. And we're just playing checkers. We're just a bunch of stupid checkers playing. Right? So that if ever you can't understand what's going on in the world, it's 4D chess. So this is what the boomers are throwing around now in Canada. Mark Carney's 4D chess. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He's a billionaire. I'm like, that's another reason probably why, he shouldn't be in charge. He doesn't. These people are out of touch with, how broke everyone is in Canada, but they don't care. They're not here to make you rich. They're here to make themselves rich and their friends. And that's it. As long as you know that, you're safe, because now you can act accordingly. And the way I combat all this corruption and misallocation of resources and economic malfeasance is through Bitcoin. It really is the only way to protect yourself. Is it foolproof? I don't know. Only time will tell. There's a lot of things about Bitcoin that's outside my pay grade, which I have, then it goes against the ethos of don't trust, verify. Fish over on Rumble says, YouTube is garbage. The normies rely on it. What could cause a mass migration? 20 years sounds about right. Unfortunately, yeah. You wouldn't even believe. Well, maybe you would if you've been to Minneapolis or Minnesota. You would. It's Canada, but not as bad, right? Like my friend went to Toronto a couple weeks ago, and he says, "I'm never ever going back to Toronto," which is sad because Toronto was it was one of the top cities in the world, right? Dickie Twiddle says there's no rumble in UK. Oh, God forbid. That's like saying there's no rumble in Canada. It's like Canada and the UK are under the guise of these economic hitmans, right? And part of it is that what I was talking about the past couple of weeks is this planned helplessness, right? Where it's like, what the hell's going on here? Can't we do anything about this? No, you can't, you dummies. And then you feel helpless, and that's the dark frequency which they mine. But that goes into some more esoteric avenues we won't get into there, but you know what I'm saying. So what happens with the current economic hitman of Canada is that he will essentially bankrupt the infrastructure of Canada, and it will be bought up 10 cents on a dollar. So it's not really lead. He's not really taking the lead because he is on it. He's in on it. He's going to make out like a king, win or lose. So let's say that he gets voted out. Well, he's already done his job. He's done his job. He's reduced Canada's economy to its knees, and it will be bought up by probably Trump, and probably for the better. This is all just business on a political level, right? They do this to businesses all the time with hostile takeovers. You know, they make it that there's no people putting up a fight about selling their business. They just make it a offer they can't refuse, and then that's what happens. Bullish Parade, if there ends up becoming a Republic of Alberta, are you moving there? It gets tough, you know, because with Duke, moving him, you know, because listen, all the things that I say I want to do would end up being a kidnapping type of thing, which I'm not going to do that because no one sees the things like the way I see it. They would be like, you're going to move to Alberta? That's where the bad orange man is. You know what I mean? So we would have to get super bad to convince everyone. Then I got to take everyone. I really want to take everyone. I really believe and I embrace you can't save them all, right? Think about what we've done here in the past 4 or 5 years. We've been trying to save as many people as possible. Do they listen? No. Do they care? No. Right? If we've learned anything over this bull run is that no one really cares. So enjoy not caring and we'll move on, I suppose. Bullish Parade, I'm one of those glasses with the fake mustache things. Just put that on him. Yeah, the Groucho Marx glasses. Yeah, we'll both hi there. We'll both be wearing them. Problem is that I've been looking for a place to move the piano bar for a long time. And it will probably take a partner, in another country that, has the politics dialed in so he can make these things happen, right? And then that would make everything a little bit easier and better. In the humble opinion of this piano. Let's see what didn't happen yesterday on the old charts. Oh, price really didn't do anything. We left right around here at 15.5, and it is now 14.8. $700 of a dead market. Now, the significance of this is that we're just hovering around the 200 moving average and the 50 Fibonacci. Here is a bullish aspect of it. We have made a higher high. That's good. You know what I'm actually going to do here? I'll probably, let's do one of these parallel channels. Live. You can see where this kind of lines up. If we were to pump today, 117. Oh, that's that 117. That's the doozy. 117, getting over it. We got to do it. We got to do it. I wonder what the day is in my life where I will say we didn't get over 117. We're done for now. I wonder when that is, because the timeline is a little screwed up for me. Like, I am a four-year cycle maxi kind of, until it's not. What else are you going to go by? It's like science. It's worked. Now it doesn't work. Oh, well, yeah. So now Now, it doesn't work. Science. It's the best information right now until better information comes out. And then everybody's wrong, but they're not really wrong. They didn't have the best information to defend them, really, but they deserve no defense. So this would make sense. 117.4, break out of this channel of ascension. And, of course, that is where the peepers are. And this is the classic plan for a bear market. Now, we're just putting this in so we know where we stand with price action. Will we get to it and close a candle? That's what we got to do. This weekly candle, ideally, I'd like to close above 117.6. It's really not enough just to close at. We need to kind of demolish it and move on. Like close the candle at 118.6 and then go green and, end up at 120. We really need to obliterate this Fibonacci is 38.2% Fibonacci if we really want to get moving with the next leg of the bull market. Under here, folks, it's not doing too well. You can see we're just keep getting tucked inside. Look how long we've spent in this channel of descension. This is July 7th, so essentially, 4 or 5 months. Broke out a bit and then came back down. So we've just been doing nothing in this channel of descension. What is the actual 119, 108, a $10,000 channel for 4 or 5 months? It's crazy. So first off, we ideally close this weekly candle out of this channel of descension for the love of Pete and, above this channel of ascension. Let's see where this channel of ascension is coming from. Yeah. So, before we were in the channel of ascension, we were channel of ascension all the way back to November, a year ago. So this was a year ago. This is when that video came out right here, where he's watching the ticker. There's the price. Just think about it. That's some guy's financial advisor. He looks like he probably has a secret. He's banging his secretary for sure. And he's a closet alcoholic. And then when it gets really raging, he likes the white pony, on those Saturday nights when the wife that hates him is gone and he's out with the girlfriend that the wife knows about. He gets into the cocaine a little bit. And then he gets emotionally void. And he goes back to the wife and he's a great husband for like 2 weeks. I always say, if your spouse goes away and comes back really nice to you, that's a red flag. Like comes back from a trip and you know what, I'm going to give you a massage and, I'm going to make you dinner and stuff like that. To me, those are red flags. Multi-sig dummy, what is Adirondacks? Well, Adirondacks is the way I say ass. Instead of saying ass, blow smoke up your Adirondacks. It takes the bite out of it. If you know what I mean. Takes the bite out of it. Is that a serious question, multi-sig dummy? Or you seriously not know that? Maybe. I assume everyone would know that, but I never explained it. So you can see, as much as we've invalidated this baby head and shoulders pattern, we broke out of it and up. We haven't really broke out of it in this daily chart. In fact, we're still in the thick of it. Here's that 117, which would more or less break us out of it, right? 117 is the metric. Now I got to remember all these times I hit 117 so I can make an epic I told you so video about 117. Now, hopefully the epic I told you so video is busting out. We don't want to get denied from 117. And now we'll all be watching it. When it does hit 117, it's like, oh shit, come on, bro, break through. But we should get resistance. It being the stickety 1.8% fib. Oh, no, it isn't. I can't read that. It's red. It's blending into this. Oh, yeah, this is the daily chart too. Where are we? Did we go back red? No, we're still green on the old monthly chart. So still good. Still 42, fear and greed. Nothing's changed. Well, obviously nothing's changed, and nobody's fearful. Nobody's greedy. Everyone's just like, imagine if this was how she goes for the next little while. There's no fear and greed. We just scissor step up in 10,000 increments. I mean, what would you rather have? Parabolic blow off tops that you miss, and you end up round tripping down to a parabolic retracement down 80%, or scissor stair step 10,000 increments of complete boredom. It's a tough dilemma, because on one hand, we're born and bred for volatility. That's why we're here. We can handle it. We're like jet fighter planes or Formula One racers. We're like, we feel the need for speed, and that's what got us in here. We can survive it. Now, can we survive less volatility in this market? I don't know. If you have a low time horizon like me, I honestly don't care. I would prefer a scissor step thing, but again, it's not good for content. It's not good for sentiment, because price is the greatest marketing aspect of Bitcoin. So if it doesn't have parabolic runs or $10,000 candles, a lot of the interest will wane, which goes back to you can't save them all. So like if the marketing of Bitcoin is, TNA, I don't mean technical analysis, but TNA as in price action, like that's the biggest aspect of this, it going parabolic and people getting, because remember a couple of weeks ago, I said a friend of mine contacted me if I'd come over to his house and explain Bitcoin to him and his fun. That was at 126. And then of course it went down. I never heard from them again. So will I ever hear from them? I don't know. Maybe they took it upon themselves to bought a 125, because that's really the psychology of the retail trader, right? It makes sense. If you don't go to a city, for instance, I went to Civitavecchia in Rome. I got off the cruise ship, and because I don't know where I am, I was in the harbor, which, historically is not a good part of town. Well, obviously you're in the harbor, you're off a cruise ship. First thing I did was come up against someone who wanted to sell me a video camera. Now, buying a video camera in a harbor in Civitavecchia is like buying the top in a Bitcoin cycle. You don't know what's going on. No one's ever told you that this is the top and that don't buy the top, right? No one told me don't buy a video camera from a guy on the corner of Civitavecchia. But guess what? I did. Because it was too good to be true. It was like $100 for this camera? Unbelievable. And then I'm walking down the street with this really tight blue bag that they like had a sailor's knot in it, so you couldn't really do it. Like I went to a restaurant, and then I was, the waiter's looking at me, because the waiter knows, everyone in the city knows, just like everyone here knows about FOMO or retail buying the top during FOMO. Everyone, I was walking down the street, and the poor waiter's got to look at me, this dummy. I'm trying to open this bag, and I'm telling my girlfriend at the time, what the hell kind of knot is this? Why did they go to all this trouble for a knot? And then when I undo the bag and open it up and take out the paper at the bottom of the box, well, it's a water bottle, of course.
Make sure you like and subscribe and share this video with someone